federal government or town government as the entity to help me. The town government is here to help the citizens as a whole, which would be the people watching on TV and the people sitting out here. But we do get to say, living in the town of Blythewood doesn't cost us any additional property tax or sales tax. But when we look at the federal level, which is where that's where the ARP money is coming from. All the residents of Blythewood over a long period of time are going to pay into the system that's giving us the ARP funds. Yes, they're a result of an economic downturn and an economy that was all but shut down. But again, let me reiterate, those ARP funds, that's a one-time check, and the list they give you to use it for is very particular, very specific, and everybody is going to have, and I say everybody, a lot of groups are going to have their hand out for the ARP money coming to Blythewood, either part or all of it. That's what I mean when I speak of the federal government coming to say they're here to help.
Okay, so how is the penny tax funded? Through the taxes, right?
You pay 8% sales tax instead of 7%.
Okay, so 2034 and 2030.
Okay, Ms. Hennigan, we're going to give you 2 minutes to make all your comments so that we're not interrupting any other candidates. So if you could kind of formulate all of your response, we'll give you your 2 minutes uninterrupted, and then we will allow our next candidate to also respond uninterrupted for his 2 minutes, okay? And then I'll give you a little license to have some banter back and forth, if it's okay with the audience. Our timekeeper, keep us on schedule. Thank you. Ms. Hennigan, 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I just want to say the American Rescue Plan would be prioritized, and basically, you're saying that the penny tax you're saying that the penny tax would be prioritized because of it's an ongoing payment and versus the American Rescue Plan, which is a one-time shot. But as a government entity, no one knows or can foresee the future. So as a one-time shot, I would not agree with that. The American Rescue Plan is basically for the American people. We cannot see the future. We could not even see that COVID-19 was going to hit any of us as hard as it did. We did not even know the lives that were going to be lost at the astronomical rate that it did. And it's a reason, again, why there was a penny tax investigation for 9 years that took taxpayers' money. And sure, they're going to be funded till 2034, but you do have to question the integrity of why the 9 years investigation just closed July 2021. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hennigan. Mr. McHenry, you have 2 minutes to respond, and I just want to, for the benefit of the audience, just recapture the essence of the question. What would be your priority as to the use of each penny tax and rescue plan of these funding opportunities and the proposed impact of each?
And while I appreciate the question, it really isn't up to either one of the two of us or town council to prioritize either of those. They're very different. When you talk about the penny tax, that's already been prioritized. The plan's laid out. You already have the entire game plan for the game. The only thing you have to do is start the clock and play the game. So there's no prioritizing there. American Rescue Plan, and I'm going to defer back to the very name. I don't need the federal government telling me they're going to rescue me from anything. The American people have always picked themselves up, dust themselves off, and proven that we're a resilient people. So the very name, American Rescue Plan of 2021, and this big amount of money coming through Washington that we had to wait. Blythewood waited 6 months to hear what their amount was going to be. It ended at $2 million. But again, along with that, there's no prioritizing here. They gave you the list of what we can spend it on. So you're going to have a lot of people lining up saying, I fit in this section, or I fit in this section, I fit in this group, and there's going to be a lot of people vying for the $2 million. So not that I disagree with the question, but the word prioritize in that question is a little bit misleading. You can't prioritize the penny project, it's done. You can't prioritize American Rescue Plan, it's done. You just have to pick where you're going to spend that $2 million, and I'm telling you, that will be an interesting conversation.
Thank you to both candidates. We have exhausted all of our questions, So before we turn to our audience to allow them to have their say, we want to, as a courtesy, provide you both with a 3-minute conceptualization, a summary of many of the points that you have shared with the audience this evening. So we'll start with Mr. McKenrick, and then we will shift to Ms. Hennigan. Okay, 3 minutes, timekeeper, please.
Thank you very much. Again, I hope you have gotten the flavor of the questions posed. We had 3 questions. I hope we get some more from the audience. And I said it during question 3, and it's kind of who I am at the core. I think Blythewood residents and the American people are smart enough to make our own decisions. I believe in less government, less intrusion from government in our daily lives. And I believe the small business owners are the backbone of any community. And if you take a community like Blythewood and you ride up and down Blythewood, there are small businesses that dot the road all the way. Small businesses are the backbone of this community. Small businesses are the backbone of this country. So if you're looking for a bigger government, a bigger spend, more arguments, more pettiness, more lawsuits, I'm not the guy. We have got to get our town council acting as one body, moving forward. We don't have to be like-minded. This is a chamber-hosted event. Is Rich McKenrick going to agree with the chamber 100% of the time? I'll tell you, no, I'm not. The president of the chamber is sitting out there. I've had that very conversation with him. I won't. Will I agree with every zoning change that comes our way? I won't. You have to have an opinion, and you have to lead with your gut, and you have to lead with facts. But when you let the facts divide our town to where all y'all read it in the local papers, we have lawsuits filed because of town council. We have lawsuits filed against our town because of the people you've elected to serve this town. Unacceptable. Constituents should have a voice. Make your voice be heard. Make your voice be heard on November 2nd. It's unacceptable. Settle these lawsuits. Get out from under them. We've got to move forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKenrick. We'll now move to Ms. Hennigan for your summarizing comments.
Thank you. I would like to summarize for thanking each and every one of you for taking the time out of your schedule to come to this town meeting, to hear the voices and concerns on only the people that you can elect. And I hope that with what you hear tonight will give you a more better understanding on who we are and where we're headed as a whole for the town of Blythewood. Again, the population is growing here. We are the 6th growing town, and we must do something about it now. We're missing out on a lot of equity. That means money that we're missing out on from that could be annexed, the people that could be annexed. And if they're not annexed, then they should be made up somewhere with the ARP, the American Rescue Plan. And as military family history of my own, the government is a structure-based system. And what we need now, not only here in Blythewood, but across the globe, is structure. Our young people need guidance. And it starts here, with each and every one of you. My hope is that we could move forward, and for some of the town businesses, we have youth here today. Thank you for coming, Westwood. I appreciate you.
And Blythewood.
Westwood High School.
Westwood and Blythewood.
And Blythewood. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you taking your time. And as you see, 4 to 1, a guy, we need everyone. And for the town of Blythewood, I would like to say to the businesses, right here in Blythewood, start with these young people. I mean, California have the Hollywood Hall of Fame a star. I think you guys are stars tonight. You are the Blythewood Hall of Fame. And I would ask that, moving forward, if we could find some funds in the American Rescue Plan so that the youth and our business can link up together and move forward and embrace these young people and show them how you got your business, not just the future business leaders of America, but for all leaders, and it starts here. Thank you.
Thank you again to both of you. Let's give them a round of applause with our first portion. And if you would like to stand and take a brief break, because I know you've been going at this almost an hour now, so we do want to give you a courtesy to have a personal break while I give some instructions as we shift and pivot to our phase 2. We have now reached the portion of our candidate forum where you as members of the audience will be able to participate and engage with our candidates. The floor is now open for anyone desiring to pose questions to the candidates. So in our similar fashion, we will present the question. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to respond to the question, and then we will circle back around for 2-minute respective rebuttals. At this time, out of an effort to be very efficient, we will ask that you will write to draft your question. We have ushers in the audience who will pick up your question, and we will share the question with our Blythewood High School panelist, Mr. Noah Valsecki. And Noah will read your question to the candidates plural. And I'm so happy to see in the audience these questions being submitted. And again, want to thank all of you for being here tonight. As our most immediate past mayor has reminded us, I know tonight's a big sports night, but you chose to be here. So we want to be very sensitive and respectful of your time. But again, this is important. This is important. So I'm so very happy on behalf of the chamber and our community that you are here to raise your voice so we can continue to move Blythewood forward. So again, that's going to be our process this evening. Please feel free to draft your question. We have Executive Director Fry who's in the audience, and we have other ushers moving about. So just raise your hand and we will gladly pick up your question that Noah from the Blythewood Bingo Nation will represent and share on your behalf tonight. All right, Noah, let us kick off if our candidates are ready.
Absolutely.
All right, wonderful. Okay, Noah, let's start with our first question, please.
All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
First question. If you are elected, how would you improve the visibility and accessibility of yourself to the local businesses? Do you currently visit the local businesses? And if so, which ones?
And we're going to ask Ms. Hennigan to respond first, please.
Oh, absolutely. I've been a resident in Blythewood since 2017, and I dived head first at the co-work station. Like I mentioned in the summary, I would like to see the businesses embrace our youth. Our youth is our future, and maybe implement a real star. You know, maybe they adopt a way the businesses embrace, or maybe adopt a student and have an official ceremony and place a star with the business that they adopt, with the student they adopted to their business. I like Lizard Thicket. I'm a hometown country girl. It's been around the world thanks to the government system. I have the abilities to travel. I like to go to the Doco Meadows Park, Groucho's, Domino's Pizza, all kinds of pizzas here and everywhere. It's something that we should embrace together, though. And I believe that COVID-19 should have opened up a lot of eyes on what we missed out on previous years. So moving forward, that would be my take.
Thank you. Noah, if you would please pose the question again to our second candidate.
If you are elected, how would you improve the visibility and accessibility of yourself to the local businesses? Do you currently visit the local businesses, and if so, which ones?
Thank you, Noah. Again, yes, Blythewood's great, small town feel. I will leave Ashley Oaks and turn right and go to Blythewood Hardware any day of the week versus the trip to Lowe's. Most of the time, they have exactly what you're looking for, and because they're a small business, you may pay a little bit more for it, but it's so worth it. You walk in Blythewood Hardware, and easy to find. People are very helpful. That's one local business. GoCo Smoke, if you own a local business, I like the mom and pop small business. Obviously, we have a lot of fast food. We have a lot of franchises when you drive up and down Blythewood Road, and those are more corporate. You know, corporate America sees Blythewood Road for what a lot of people do, an exit off of the interstate. But when you look close and when you look at Blythewood, we have a florist, we have an ice cream shop, we have a hardware store, we've got local pizza places. Doco Smokes, great restaurant. So I encourage people, shop local. I do. Look for local places to go. Blythewood Consignment. Blythewood Consignment's our own little Walmart right here. If you need it, you can find it in Blythewood Consignment, I promise you. So visibility, you just have to be in the community. And when you put yourself forward for public office, you need to make yourself available to business owners and residents alike to hear their concerns. And I've experienced that firsthand on the Planning Commission. So that's all part of it. So thank you for the question.
Thank you very much. Great responses from both of you. Now is the time to have some follow-up. Ms. Hennigan, is there anything else you'd like to add, anything that you'd like to bring forth to share with the audience? We'll give you 2 minutes.
Well, yes, I would like to just end in also saying that we have had some wonderful mayors in the past. Keith Bailey was one of the mayors. I had an opportunity to get to know a little bit about Keith Bailey and what this entity that we're sitting here was started by Keith Bailey. And then it rolled on to Mike Ross, which I had the opportunity, thank you, Mike Ross, to learn a lot of the culture here in Blythewood through the co-work station, which also shaped and molded me for this day here today. And now we have Brian Franklin, and I do send my condolences to his family, that's doing a wonderful and remarkable job with the proclamation of inclusion, not only just for African Americans, but for women and people of disabilities. And in closing, I would like to again thank each and every one of you for sharing this time tonight.
Thank you, Ms. McHenry. Anything you'd like to add in response to the question from the audience member or anything else?
The only other thing I would add is, again, I don't know what audience member asked the question, but when you're asking a potential councilman how they would be visible, how they would be involved, and how they would interact with constituents, I would be remiss to say there should be 3 people sitting up here. This is not about the Blythewood Chamber. This is about the community of Blythewood. Mr. Sloan Griffin should be up here saying how he makes himself accessible. He is not accessible tonight to hear from the constituents that live in Blythewood. So there's another missed opportunity. So once again, let's put the petty politics aside and do what's best for Blythewood.
Thank you. Noah, do we have any additional questions?
We do.
Thank you.
How do you think we should fund new parks and recreation?
Mr. Kimmery?
And then they follow that up with new taxes or more working with Richland Recreation County Commission.
Yes,
Very
please.
good question. Recreation is another topic that is widely discussed. Not very much has changed with the recreation system and facilities Blythewood has since the 1970s. So I don't know about y'all, but if you go to your mailbox within the next 3 days, you're going to have a real estate tax bill in your mailbox. They've already been mailed out by Richland County. And when you open that envelope and you look at your tax bill, recreation is a line item on your Richland County tax bill. What does that pay for? If nothing has happened in Blythewood since 1970, what does that recreation tax that you pay every year on real estate pay for? You got to ask the question. We now have great representation from Blythewood on Richland County Council. And he just walked in the back door. You couldn't have timed that better, brother. Derek Pugh just walked in the back door, and he's our representative on Richland County Council. That right there is the guy that has the checkbook, that writes the check for Blythewood Recreation. That's how we do it. We don't increase taxes. We don't go to the residents of Blythewood and say, because they won't, we will. That's the wrong answer, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Noah?
How do you think we should fund new parks and recreation? New taxes or more working with the Richland Recreation County Commission?
Yeah, I do not agree with new taxes at all. But I would like to say, there's nothing really written in stone when it comes to politics. Anything can be amended, and anything can be voted on. And if you collaborate, we can make things happen together forward. Moving forward, McKendrick said that he got they get $1 billion up to 2034. I would like for that to be presented with an amendment, to amend some of those funds to the Parks and Recreation and divvy it up that way. I think Prue would like that as well.
Thank you very much.
Can I have a little bit of
Yes,
rebuttal?
absolutely. You have 2 minutes to respond. Provide us with a rebuttal.
Our town council, representatives on our town council, actually, Mr. Griffin Sloan put together 2 meetings within the last 6 months with Richland County Recreation. They came here, they sat right where I'm sitting, and the purpose was, how do we move recreation forward in Blythewood? I was here representing the Planning Commission. This meeting was not advertised well. It wasn't publicized well. There were 24 people in the room. 3 of them were citizens. The balance were government-paid workers who were on the staff of Richland County Recreation Commission. Something's wrong with that picture. That does not move recreation forward. And in that meeting, the question was asked, how do we improve facilities? And we were told by the executive director of the Richland County Recreation Commission, Richland County Recreation Commission cannot borrow 1 red cent until 2034 by law. Yep, you can try to change that law, but they stand behind that law. It becomes a shield for your recreation department. So we do, I totally agree with you. We have to be creative with how we get our Richland County Council to view Blythewood's needs as paramount. We have kids in Blythewood going outside of the town to play ball because they can't play. There's no facilities here to play. It's problematic. So certainly Richland County Recreation Commission is a start, but again, I'm going to go right back to who we now have solid leadership on the Richland County Council. We need to partner with that leadership. We need to drive that home, and we need to have a unified voice on how to improve recreation facilities in Blythewood outside of borrowing money to do so. You look at the stakeholder survey, 63% of those 601 people who answered that question, should the town of Blythewood borrow money to update recreation space?
Mr.
The answer was
McHenry, could you bring your
63%
comments
said
to
no.
a close, please?
63%, that's a strong percentage. Said, do not borrow money to do this.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hennigan, do you have anything you'd like to add or detract from any comments that have been said?
Basically, I just would like to add that, again, they can't accept any money, but the funds that the penny tax have, there can be amendment.
All right, thank you. Noah, any additional questions from the audience?
Yeah, I believe this is the last question, unless anybody has any questions they want to bring up last
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah, let's survey the audience again. All right, the floor is open. Now, I'm a teacher, and I can call on you now. No, I won't do that this evening. All right, Noah, move us
All right.
forward, please.
Can you share from a personal perspective, why do you want to serve and what most motivated you to run for town council?
And we're going to ask Ms. Hennigan if you would respond first, please.
Yes, when I moved here to the town of Blythewood, I dived head in first at the co-work station. It was something new, but as you know, when something new, you never know what's going to go wrong. I'm running because the tenacity, the leadership, and when things happen that you don't have no control over, you're supposed to be able to pick yourself up, not complain about it, and move forward. I'm running because we need a unified voice here for not only women, but our youth as well. We need to have a collaborative effort to move forward together and not taking the funds out of the town on bickering or lawsuits or hiring an outside vendor to get the job accomplished that we have well-qualified businesses here to do. They can do the same thing. There's no reason why we should have funds going outside of the town to third parties to bring us together. We do need a unified voice, and I can agree with you on that. In closing, I would like to also say, win or lose, you have an opportunity to make a more friendly and fair environment during this COVID-19 climate for our youth of today and for the women that are hidden behind the scenes. Only you can bring this opportunity of inclusion, stability, and equality for all by voting for Roxanne Hennigan.
Thank you, Ms. Hennigan. Noah, if you would pose the last question to Mr. McKenrick.
Can you share from a personal perspective, why do you want to serve and what most motivated you to run for town council?
Thank you again for the question. Mayor Ross appointed me to the Planning Commission a number of years ago. I served on the Planning Commission and went from a commissioner to vice chair and have served as chair for, I believe it's been 2 years since I've been chairman. I got on Planning Commission because I saw an opportunity to help the citizens of Blythewood in the communication piece when they came before the Planning Commission to why they were being told yes and no, and helping them maneuver that process to get to the appropriate answer, and tying that back to the comprehensive plan. Why were they being told no? Well, the comprehensive plan may or may not have called for proper to be used a certain way. That got me on the Planning Commission, and in such, became very aware and involved with what town council was doing. I appreciate the people that serve on town council, but somehow town council has lost their true north. And that's important to me. I'm a resident of Blythewood. And my mother is here. My father's had some outpatient surgery. He's not here this evening, but my parents raised me that if you're going to complain about something, you better be willing to get involved and help be part of the solution. So that's what landed me here tonight. I asked for your vote on November 2nd. I appreciate the 2 council members who are here. Mr. Donald Brock is in the back. Eddie Ballman is in the back. Obviously, Mayor Franklin can't be here because of the tragedy in his family. We remember them in our prayers. Former Mayor Mike Ross, Mayor Keith Bailey was here earlier. Marcus Taylor's in the back. These are people that put their name out there to serve. Derek Pugh, I commented on you when you walked in the door. Thank you for what you're doing, Richland County Council. It's a thankless job. Nobody comes to the Planning Commission and gets told no and leaves in a good mood, and they associate that no with the people who told them no. But it's a job that is fulfilling when you see Blythewood flourishing the way we should as a town. So thank you very much. November 2nd, next Tuesday, please vote.
Absolutely. Let's give them a round of applause. Outstanding, outstanding. And this is what our democracy is all about. And we certainly want to thank you for your courage and for you taking on this task to put your platforms out there and allowing us an opportunity to engage in dialogue with you in discussion. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, as we prepare to close, Mr. Fry, are there any other updates you need to share with us before we prepare to close?
I only, and I was remiss in not recognizing Councilman Brock and Griffin that are here. Not Griffin, but, and Derek, I'm sure you had a good reason, but you're big enough, you don't have to walk in at the last second, everybody can see you. But thank you all for coming, and this is an important, and do remember to vote on November 2nd.
Yes.
And let's thank for.
Yes, certainly. Mr. Fry would like for me just to make a few brief acknowledgments. We wish to thank Dr. Lisa Ellis of Blythewood High School, Dr. Portia Meadows of Westwood High School, and Miss Maria Owens of Richland County School District 2 for securing the student panelists and proctors tonight. Didn't these young people do an excellent job? Wow. And we are going to put a challenge to you. We want to see you all up here okay, to lead our community in the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years down the line, okay? All right? We're very, very, very proud of you. We also would like to recognize our elected officials. They have already been recognized, but again, thank you for your service and your support. Special thanks to, again, the students participating. Thank you for the town of Blythewood, the staff of the Doko Manor, and lastly, special thanks to our executive director, Mr. Fry, and the Greater Blythewood Chamber of Commerce. And we wish to thank all of you. Please safe travels back home, and don't forget to vote on Tuesday, November 2. The polls are open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Good night and be well. Go Braves.
That's not.